And joining us now is a man who's been in that seat before, had that headset on, had to make those types of decisions. And not only did he do it in a fantastic fashion, he took the Jets to fucking playoffs like every goddamn year.
Yeah.
Ever since he's been gone, they haven't won without him. Yeah, they stink.
Yeah.
No offense to them. Offense should be taken, actually.
A little bit of offense.
But I got a chance to meet this guy since he's been working at ESPN. He's electrifying. He's hilarious. And now, he's here for Dr. fucking Scholes.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, legend Rex Ryan.
Hey, what up, Pat?
Rex!
Pat, it's good to see you, buddy.
Coach, it's great to see you.
The first thing, though, do we have to call timeout? Are you kidding
Okay.
me? Everybody in the stadiums want to call timeout. Everybody watching at home like, timeout. Coach, timeout. You got 3 of these bad boys. Are you kidding me?
So-
you got Russell Wilson. It ain't like you have Mark Sanchez. You got Russell Wilson.
They paid him $256 million just like a week or two ago. They got the richest owner in all of sports, so I guess that means nothing. But everybody on earth with the 4th and 5 left here, 50-some seconds left, because if you go for it and you don't get it, Denver's kneeling it out anyway. So there's really no, Rex, why wouldn't you, I guess?
No, 100%. Like you got to be kidding me here. Like you have to call timeout and then and move it with your best player, the one you paid $240 million to. You're right, Pat.
Yeah, it's
you got to do it. And now look, this kicker is unusual. I mean, like I say, I understand, milking it down and kicking the field goal and all that. Not from 64 yards. Are you kidding me? How long was that damn record? 63-yard field goal. That thing lasted for 100 damn years. Tom Dempsey, half-foot guy or whatever, he knocks it through. He still could have used Dr. Scholes, but anyway, he knocks it through. And here's the thing. It just was, it was just really strange, man. It almost looked like he panicked.
Okay.
Like, it almost looked like he wasn't prepared for the situation and where, okay, what's my call? And he froze. And I've seen coaches do that before.
Okay.
They freeze it in the biggest moments. And you're like, but as a head coach, they pay you for those moments. And I couldn't believe that, what I was watching. But again, hopefully he'll be a really good coach down the road. But, man, he's going to regret that one.
Yeah, I would assume so. He's going to look back on it and second guess everything, hopefully. I mean, West Virginia's head coach did not second guess any of his decisions after losing a game.
Try to do it all again.
I'd go back and do it the exact same way again. All right, we fucking lost, all right? So let's not do that. But yeah, I think obviously Hackett will look back on this and wonder what if. But you've been in football forever, literally forever. We read on your Wikipedia that you and your brother said when you were like 6 years old, we're going to be fucking football coaches. That's just how it's going to be. You love the game. Whenever you get that head coaching role in that opportunity, you ask the kicker, right, what's your line? Do you think he was told, like, hey, this is our line, and in his head, hey, I got him to where the fucking kicker told me to be. We got to give him a shot. Like, what do you think, or do you think it was just a full, I've never been in this position before, what the fuck should I do moment?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously, you find out the range from the kicker. He can kick it from here. We got to get to this yard line to have any kind of chance. But you have 3 timeouts. It's 4th and 5. It ain't 4th and 100. It's not 5 seconds left or even 20 seconds left. Oh, yes, it is, because you let the clock get down to 20 seconds. So you had no choice but to kick it then. It just totally butchered the thing. And the way these guys convert 4th downs now and the way the rules are, like 4th and 5 is like, that's back in the day, 4th and 1s. I mean, it's easy to convert those, a hell of a lot easier than it used to be. And to me, there was no. I mean, I'm gonna go down with my best player, the one I'm giving $240 million to, and we gave up like 3 players and 3 draft picks or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You gotta ride with your quarterback, and unfortunately, he never did that. So we'll never know.
That's a tough start, obviously, for his head coaching career and also Russell Wilson's Denver Broncos Let's Ride career. On the flip side, though, how about those goal line stands? 2 fumbles, same exact play, basically, half-inch line. That's momentum a team can ride for the next few weeks, Rex.
Oh, there's no question. And here's the thing I took from number one, phenomenal red zone defense. All right. Last year, man, I mean, the Seahawks were awful in almost every statistic on defense. All right. But when you saw these plays in the by the goal line, it was unreal. I mean, 2 takeaways, like that's amazing. But I tell you what, I've got to give a shout out to my guy Geno Smith. All right.
Yes,
I know he's got a chin like a marshmallow, but Geno Smith came out on fire in that first half. You know he did. He played his tail off, and I think he's going to ride that momentum. Look, I started him for 2 years. He hadn't really had the opportunity to go since. He's been on the bench behind some really good quarterbacks, and I'm excited for Geno to finally get this opportunity again, and hopefully he'll make the most of it.
I think he will. It seemed like he started out in a great fashion, and the whole team's around him, obviously sitting behind Eli and sitting behind Russell. He's probably a completely different player. What do you think Pete Carroll told those boys the night before? Now, I know you're a big, let's go get a fucking snack guy.
Damn right.
Do you think Pete let him know, like, hey, all the rumors you've heard, if you weren't here last year, ask somebody who was. Russ thinks he's better than everybody in here. Do you think Pete used that type of stuff? I don't know if you know Pete that well. That had to be, it felt like all of Seattle wanted last night pretty bad from the beginning all the way to the end, Rex.
Yeah, there was no doubt. I don't know if he would go out and signal, just take out, the Russell Wilson, put it on him. I think he would use it more as a team. Like, look, everybody wants to see Russell Wilson and his new Denver Bronco team, this superstar team against us. We're just the afterthought here. Oh, yeah? We're getting ready to beat the hell out of this football team. And I think that's how they played. They were inspired. You're right. They did want to, have Geno Smith back. And look at the fan base, man. All of them chanting Geno. It's like, good for you, man. Like, that was great to see. And the great thing about, Russell deserved a lot better. Hell no, you're with another team now, man. So I don't blame the fans for having at it. And it was kind of a fun thing. But Pete Carroll, darn well he was using the old, disrespect to us completely and to our quarterback and everybody else, and he certainly used that.
Okay, we're talking to Rex Ryan, obviously absolute legend. Just chatted about Monday Night Football and Russell Wilson getting booed, jogging on for warm-ups in the Monday Night Football countdown on ESPN, and being booed throughout the entire evening. They should have covered untimely turnovers that the Seattle Seahawks defense forced changes the entire evening. I want to ask about a couple other NFL teams before we dive into this Dr. Scholl's partnership because hey, this is brilliant. Yeah, it is. We'll get into it. How do you feel about the Buffalo Bills, a team you know very well, obviously? Josh Allen's like a prototype, it feels like, but that team has dogs everywhere. Number one in all sports books. They go out to LA, steamroll. What do you like about that team, Rex? Haven't really got a chance to hear your take on the whole squad.
Yeah. Hey, Pat, everything about that team, like this isn't the team that I had. Ain't no way in hell. Like they're in the single player on it, all those type of things. And we were battling 8-8, just scrapping to get to 500. This team right here is built to go the distance. And number one, how are you going to do it? Well, you have to have a franchise quarterback. We all know that. Well, if you're drafting right now, I'm not sure you take anybody over Josh Allen. He's definitely in the top three if he ain't number one with Patrick Mahomes and that Herbert kid. But, he's absolutely phenomenal. You look at the weapons they have around them. The receiving core, Stephon Diggs was a great move they did. But the thing that I'm most impressed with is their defense. And they took a area of weakness. They couldn't stop anybody from running the ball on them last year. So what do? They bring in, they add Settle, they get the Phillips back, and that big Jordan Phillips, a great player for Buffalo. He can't play for anybody else, but he is lights out for Buffalo. And then you also bring in Von Miller. Oh, by the way, he's done. Oh, yeah. Oh, really? He's done? All he's going to do is rush the passer on third down and in the fourth quarter and in 2-minute situations? Good luck. He's a closer. That's exactly what you need to do to win in this league. You got to be able to rush the passer in the fourth quarter of games. That's what they fixed. They fixed the run defense. Look, they were number one in the league last year in defense. Well, how are they going to do now? Like they're even better in that. Their depth is incredible. That defensive line depth. It reminded me of the old Niners back in the Bill Walsh days when he had 10 defensive linemen dressed for games when nobody else was, having 5 or 6 dress. He had 10. Why? Because you got to, and he was a strange mentor of mine, but Bill Walsh actually was. And he always said, you got to be able to rush the passer in the fourth quarter. So you need pass rushers. Well, Buffalo's got it. And I tell you what, the only question I think they had going in was how good the new offensive coordinator was going to be, Dorsey.
He's good.
Well, he might be better than the other cat. So, they just replaced. So that looked pretty damn good to me. Yeah, they were absolutely impressive.
We'll talk to Jordan Poyer in about 45 minutes here. Can't wait to chat.
Oh, my God. Both those safeties, man.
Hey, no Pro Bowlers. No Pro Bowlers last year. Isn't that crazy on that defense? None.
Yeah, the number 1 defense in the league and no Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
They should have put Leslie Frazier in there if that's the case. Hey, Leslie, you know what? You're the defensive coordinator. You're the number 1 defense. You had no players. You're doing it with no players at all. You go to the damn Pro Bowl and represent this team. But, yeah, no, Poyer's a fan. No, you take both those safeties, stick them in the Pro Bowl. Those guys are awesome. But I think they're not going to be able to play in it anyway because they're going to be going to the Super Bowl this year.
I think we all think that. And that's kind of a scary thing, that everybody is in agreement on something in the NFL, because we all know the NFL is full of fuckery. But that team, they have the mindset, too. Like, we haven't won shit. And I think it's because that no Pro Bowlers. Josh Allen, although he is a guy, a superstar now, he started out with a lot of people bashing him. So that'll be with him forever, I think. Like Stephon Diggs was on here last week. He said you couldn't even tell that we're the fucking odds-on favorite anymore. Like that's the mentality that you want. And Von Miller's hearing it too, and he could be the first guy to go 3 different teams and win. I mean, I think we're all in agreement, Rex, and I'm pumped to watch this motherfucker. They go. Let's talk about another team your name has ties to. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles with your dad. And whenever you went and did the show live for ESPN in Philly, it was a cool moment watching you do the chanting alongside of them and everything. That team, they seem to have dogs, Rex. I like this mentality of these younger coaches almost. Like, hey, we need dudes at spots. Do you kind of enjoy this new evolution of coaching and team building strategy, especially in Philadelphia with what they're looking for?
Yeah, no, I still like the old guys because I'm still waiting for that phone call, Pat, but to come back in. But no, I absolutely do. And my son, he's coaching now 6 years in the NFL. Hopefully he'll be one of these new young cats that get promoted down the road. And because you're almost like, where'd this guy come from? Well, when Sirianni was with the Chargers for all those years, and he's done a hell of a job. He's got a lot of young coaches on his staff. And it's an exciting brand of football. And the thing I like most about what Nick Sirianni did was he took what his quarterback, what his strengths are, and he utilized them. He lets that quarterback be himself. And, hey, look, you're a terrific runner. Take off, man. You feel it? Take off. You don't have to sit in the pocket all damn day. And Jalen Hurts is a dang good football player. People forget, Tua did beat out Jalen Hurts, but only after the fact. Jalen Hurts was a 2-time Southeast Conference Offensive Player of the Year. Like, he's pretty damn good. Could have won the Heisman at Oklahoma. So, he lets him do his thing, and I think they're an exciting team. They got a big, strong offensive line and a good defense. But I will say this: they were challenged last week.
Late.
Yeah, late, and Detroit ran the hell out of the football. And so I'm like, holy cow, maybe Detroit's going to be good too, so we'll see.
What do you think about the change of the game here? Now, you just talked about running the ball and being damn good on the ground. How do you feel about the evolution of football? You're an old school guy. Now, I'm not saying you're an old school guy because you've been around a long time. It just feels like you're with the greats whenever the conversation happened. The Ryan family is like one of the staples of football. I'm happy to hear your son, 3rd generation in the NFL. That's awesome.
No doubt.
Congratulations. But what do you think about the evolution of football right now? It's obviously for science and for safety. It's wide open. It affects defensive football the most, which we know you absolutely love.
Yeah, it does. But I still think it's for the betterment of our game and, protecting our players. This game is about our players. And that's what everybody loves to watch. And let's protect them with still having the greatest game it is. Like, look, this is one of the only sports that takes courage to play. And courage to me is not you're crazy. No, courage is you're scared, but you go anyway. Like, that's football, man. Like, it's tough. It is a physical last game. And you got to love it. But I love the new game. And look, it's still 11 on 11. You still get after the quarterback. You can still knock the hell out of people. You just can't hit them in the head anymore.
Which, back in the day, used to be quite a weapon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
We have AJ Hawk on here, every day.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, it has taken him a little bit here to change the name of, to helmet. He used to just say it was a weapon. That was literally what he taught. Yeah, that ride there, you get that big heavy one. You get one of those lighter ones, you can't really hit anybody with. You get that heavy one, you're trying to, it's a weapon.
For the
If I'm
jaw.
not hitting with my head, what am I doing? Now the game is just, and it's been pretty quick, 15 years almost. The next generation, though, of players is in, and they understand, they get it. Like these Guardian caps, Coach, did you see those things?
Dude, I know they look horrible, but here's the great thing, Pat. I went to my kid was playing at Clemson. I went there, and they all had them. And so I called the NFL and said, hey, should we put these things on our guys for training camp? And, of course, they looked at me, and anything I suggested, they're like, oh, Rex Ryan's calling? What?
Get that out
Come
of
on.
here.
Right now, we ain't doing that shit. Boom. Now we're all doing it. So good for them, man. Prevent some of those concussions and things like that. It's great. Keep our guys healthy.
I think the game is growing still somehow 103 years into this or whatever it is. And, 25.1 million average viewers on that Tampa Cowboys game, and that game was boring.
Boring.
That was a boring game out there. How do you feel about Tom coming back? Greatest of all time, I assume everybody's in agreement of that. Him coming back. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think it's going to change anything down in Tampa? You think they can go on a run?
I think they can go on a run, but I think it's going to be based on good, like Godwin. If he gets back healthy, remember he had the hamstring. Because I looked out there, I'm like, who the hell is he throwing to? Mike Evans is a great player, but they had nobody else really. So I think as long as he comes back healthy, they'll still have a shot.
You like Tom? You've been away from the game here for a little bit, and you just said you'd go back and be a head coach again. Let's make that happen.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's make that happen. Coaches are getting fired at a lot more alarming rate nowadays because you can't just be okay with losing because social media and everything. Let's get Rex back in the league. But when you left,
there you go, Pat.
Hey, when you left the game, was it hard? Was it difficult? I think guys that are lifers, it becomes much more difficult coaching, playing. And I think Tom experienced that for 40 days. He was almost lost, it feels like, it sounds like at this point.
Yeah, it really is, because when you are a football lifer, it really is. But the one thing about, and Pat, when we went into this media deal, I got up with, ESPN and doing that Sunday countdown show. So you still have your fix. And the fact, I have a son that now going in his 6th year in the NFL and my brother. So I'm still connected that way. But yeah, you miss the competition, man. You miss the locker room. You miss all that. And but I'll be honest, it's funny. I never knew there'd be life after football, but I enjoy what I'm doing right now. And I'm not getting back in this league. Obviously, you go anywhere to be a head coach, but I'm not going to jump in to be a coordinator or whatever unless it was, they had to pay me a ton of money. That would be the only way you get back. But I like what I'm doing. And Pat, let's not forget. One of the things I'm doing is I'm a partner with Dr. Scholes, my friend.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Rex, this is brilliant. And these are things that you can do now that you're in the media space and everybody sees how awesome you are. Obviously, we knew from Hard Knocks in your press conferences how electrifying you were. But in the media, I feel like getting to know you as a person for the conversations off air. I came back and told the boys, I'm like, hey, Rex is one of the coolest motherfuckers of all time. And then I think I talked to you at that point about getting on social. I'm like, Rex, you got to get on social. I'm like, the first wave of people that are going to tweet you, you're going to have to get through that. You're going to have to get through the first wave. But all they're going to attack you for is what you've embraced fully. This is brilliant. Yeah. Now, I know athlete's foot is a problem that people don't like to talk about. Nope. Having your foot be irritated or uncomfortable is something nobody likes to chat about. So Dr. Scholes and Rex Ryan have come together to create a new Instant Cool athlete treatment spray and wipes. Not only do they have this incredible product, they're also teaming up with the host of TLC's My Feet Are Killing Me, Dr. Brad Schaefer, to really address and promote good feet health. I think this is it's great for you. Obviously, the tie-in is amazing. How did this come together, and how pumped are you about this? I assume it's pretty exciting.
It's cool. But when they first called, Pat, I'm like, yeah, right. Somebody's busting my chops here. You know what I mean? like, no, we got this great product, and they actually sent it to me, and I'm like, all right. And anybody's had athlete's foot, it's like, oh hell, that burns like hell, whatever. This stuff I spray, I'm like, damn, this thing's pretty good. I'm like, oh, I'm in. Like, we're gonna do this, and look, it's funny, Pat, because I spent 30 years coaching or whatever, but there in some circles I'm known as that. That's the coach that has the foot fetish or whatever. I'm like, yep, that's me, mother. You're damn right I do. And I'm guilty. And look, my wife is gorgeous. She's got gorgeous feet. But when Dr. Scholl's called, I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. Like, they're choosing me.
It is.
But they're like explaining why. They're like, Rex, two things and they said, well, I was uniquely qualified to do it. And I'm like, yes, I can do this, man, because I'm an expert in football and I'm an expert in feet. So what the hell, I'm going to do it. And I flat out own it. And it's I remember, Pat, going into a stadium. We're going in to play New England. And all that stuff came out. Remember Wes Welker and was busting my chops, everything else. And I come out, and they all got these things out, posters on something on the feet and all that type of jazz. And I'm like, oh, great, this is fantastic. And some fan yells, hey, coach, what do you think of my girlfriend's feet? And I'm like, man, I'm just going to ignore it. And I'm like, nah, I'll look over it. I glance over. I'm like, they look pretty good, doing all right. But either way, it's just one of those things. But when Dr. Scholl's called, I'm like,
what if you would have said,
like, here it is. Like, here's the funny thing, Pat, it's the number one, Dr. Scholl's the best of the best, the best foot product company, in the world. And they're like asking me to do it. I'm like, okay, dude,
hey,
let's go for it. But
Coach,
yeah, it's kind of a cool thing.
Coach, they're the best foot, company. You are the best foot spokesperson in the history of anything. And I love the fact that you're owning it completely. I like that the New England fans gave it to you because that's what sports are. That's what it's supposed to be. But I do wish you would have looked at that lady's feet and said, fucking busted ass feet. It would have been awesome.
Pat, I would have. If they were jacked up, I would have said it. But I'm like, man, they look pretty good. They're clearly not as good as my wife's feet, but, man, they're pretty good.
Key features of the new you're the best, by the way. Your teeth look amazing, too. I mean, you are.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're living.
I put Dr. Scholl's on those, too.
You're the best. Key features of the new Dr. Scholl's Instant Cool Athlete's Foot Treatment and Spray and Wipes. Itching and burning relief. How you doing?
Yeah. Okay.
Clinically proven to relieve and prevent athlete's foot with daily use. How you doing? Added cooling versus current spray solutions with no powdery residue.
Perfect.
Big deal. Easy to use and convenient. No need to touch the feet.
Nice.
Relief for cracking and scaling of skin on feet and toes. Full coverage with between the toe application. You can literally head to drscholls.com right now or purchase it anywhere. Dr. Scholl's Instant Cool Athlete's Foot Treatments are available. Hey, you're the man. Thank you for everything.
Pat, you're the man, and thank you so much for having me on there. Man, am I glad you read that stuff off because, all I know is this product is outstanding, and thank you for getting it out there for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Ryer.
Hilarious.
The best.
Yeah.
That's a company that gets it. Dr. Scholl's.
Yes, that's right.
That's a company, do you ever hear me read somebody's entire thing?
No,
Never. But the fact that they said, this is the right move, I would feel like I should say thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Scholl.
Because that is that is brilliant.
Yeah, it's genius. And
that
you were pumped to read that.
Pumped. Yeah. Yes. Actually, print it out, please. I would like to read it. There's more that we could really dive into. Dr. Brad Schaefer's fucking yoga.
Oh, my
Ashley's
God.
brother.
This dude is full on. No, he's not. Woo! No, he's not.
Oh, what?
I think he's from LA. I don't think he's from Carolina, which I will be heading to this weekend.
Yes,
That's right.
Heading down Boone, North Carolina for Appalachian State. Let's go get weird in those hills, baby.